A man is presenting to the emergency room with Peener Hurdy. This is how his brain shut down. FZ is a YouTuber with HIV/AIDS. One day he watched nothing but Twitch streamers playing Unity asset flip co-op games with their friends. Thinking it looked like a good time, he tried it for himself. He played for 5 days straight. He didn't eat, he didn't sleep, he didn't even get up to use the washroom. Eventually, he went into slop overload and passed away. All across the internet, there has been an outbreak of multiplayer co-op games that cost between $10 and $30. On every social media, the Steam recommendation page, and DMs with my jobless friends. We are in the middle of an outbreak of slop. A slop virus, if you will. A slopocalypse, perhaps. That shouldn't be happening. In ye olden days, slop was a word used to describe low-quality foodstuffs. In current year, however, everything is slop, or rather it is described as such. You simply add the word slop to an already existing idea, and you've created not just a new word, but a new concept. Dark Souls, roll slop. Hassan Piker, chair slop. Hell of a Boss, goon slop. I'm slop, you're slop.
No.
Everything is slop. Which means nothing is slop. And then, on the 17th of March, 2025, X the Everything app, formerly Twitter user @Wosa, created a zeet that put to words the fatigue people were feeling in this genre of video game. IDK, how else to describe it, but I call this genre of game friend slop. Its sole purpose of existence is friend farming. Now, you would be correct in thinking that this line of text is an incomprehensible amalgamation of buzzwords that has no meaning, because it is, and it doesn't. But if we look past the schizophrenia-fueled 4chan speak, we can see an amount of genius rivaling that of Aristotle, Socrates, and Chris Chan. Because it's not the words themselves that matter, it's the sentiment behind them. There is a fatigue of both mind and mommy's credit card.
The money, Skylar, where is the rest?
Steam game.
At the sheer amount of these so-called friend slop games. Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Google Giggles, Discord. If you're able to upload a video file, you can be guaranteed you will find clips and videos and compilations of this specific type of video game. And the common people are tired, because the original post received 7.7 million views and sparked a discourse that will be raging until the end of time. You are either a brainwashed, uncritical consumer, or a loser who has no friends to play games with and hates fun. I, for one, am all of these. And seeing as how I've already been infected, I will use what little time I have left before the virus takes over and my brain turns to mush to teach you the history of the disease, how to properly classify its strains, and the severity of its symptoms. But most importantly, how you can keep yourself safe from the friend slop epidemic. Now, the government cut my research funding on the grounds of it being stupid and dumb, which means we don't have power. And when the power is out, the creature arrives. I partnered with Five to share their brand new Watermelon Chill Gummies, a delicious indica-based gummy designed for serious relaxation. Watermelon Chill is your go-to for mellow, chill vibes. Ever since I tried Watermelon Chill, I am become the chill. Damn, he's too chill. What's 9 plus 10? 21? You're a genius. Because that's how old you need to be to enjoy the delicious flavor of Five's new 10 milligram Indica Watermelon Chill Gummies. Get a free jar of Five's brand new Watermelon Chill Gummies by clicking the link in the description below. That's right, the best price. Free! But you better act fast, otherwise I will have eaten all of the yummy, nummy gummies and become big and round like a watermelon. Now, in order to properly understand the disease, what we need to do is go back. The year is 50,000 BC. Humans begin working together to hunt woolly mammoths. The first version of co-op gameplay is invented. Nothing ever happens for the rest of time until finally, 1958. The first video game, Tennis for Two, was created. People liked it. they wanted more. An industry is born. And then, June 15th, 2018, Among Us is released.
We're Costco guys. Of course, we're in Among Us.
A game where you and either your friends or complete strangers attempt to find the imposter alien amongst a space crew. And the virus as we know it had spawned. Underdeveloped and weak, but nothing could stop it. Among Us was everywhere. You couldn't escape.
We're gonna play a few rounds of Among Us.
1,000 IQ Among Us moment compilations are controlling the YouTube algorithm. This was followed up in 2020 with the release of Phasmophobia, a multiplayer ghost hunting game that had you and up to 3 others hunting ghosts in a fun, infinitely replayable environment, and it was nifty and fun. It didn't have a hold on the public like the sussy imposter game, but it laid the groundwork for what was to come. The virus was growing stronger. And then, October 23rd, 2023, Lethal Company. The virus had reached full maturity. Everyone everywhere was playing it for its fun mechanics.
Is it okay if I touch you?
Infinitely replayable gameplay loop. Cool indie trans PS1 style graphics, and its ability to create extremely funny moments if the people you played with had the IQ of a political streamer. It was by all accounts an amazing game, worth the Steam Valve bucks.
You bet you make that deal?
I'd make that deal.
I don't blame you. Damn good deal.
But we need to ask ourselves, is what it brought with it worth the fun? Because despite being an indie game, Lethal Company, like Among Us and Phasmophobia before it, was extremely popular with
Bro cough like an iPad kid.
live streamers. Now, the Funny Scream Clip Farm people may lack talent and intelligence
Do you believe in the Big Bang Theory or Pangria?
What the fuck is Pangria?
and a hairline,
It isn't even that bad.
but they do bring with them the one thing that actually matters on the internet: big numbers. And if you're an indie developer looking to make $50 billion, then creating a game similar to something popular with said streamers can be very, very profitable. And this is why the virus exists. It was designed in a lab specifically to latch onto your wallet and suck the life force from it. But before you can be protected, you need to know what it is. Now, this is where it gets difficult because there is not one solid definition for the word friend slop. And if you try and discuss this topic with anyone to form a solid hypothesis, they will think you live in the white padded room. Everyone has their own personal interpretations of this topic, and they are all wrong for the most part, because it's a nonsense internet word that means nothing. Which means it can be anything. And my goal is to finally give a solid classification to the term because I'm tired of it being used incorrectly. Now, when the word is used to describe a game, it is always in a negative context. It is a direct insult to the game's quality, either visually, gameplay-wise, fun factor, blah blah. But friend slop cannot exist in a vacuum, and its mere existence implies the existence of an equivalent, opposite friend gem. So what makes a game co-op multiplayer versus friend slop versus friend gem? In order to gather this data, I played so many of these games, not to mention the countless hours spent watching Twitch streamers in order to mimic the feeling of what it would be like if I had friends. And I've come to the conclusion that if you slammed your head against the wall about 50 times, you would suffer about 1/4 the brain damage I now do. But what you wouldn't have is my knowledge. Now, because I played so many of these games, I have developed an intimate, almost sexual connection with the genre. I am able to see the tropes, the trends, the rip-offs, the inspirations, the ones and zeros that comprise their very existence. And this knowledge has allowed me to create a comprehensive list of identifiers that can be used on not just the supposed friend slop games, but every video game ever to determine its friend sloppiness. All you need to do is insert the game you want to test into the Flazinator, let it touch you, and then it will give you the results. And the metric used to determine these results are Now, counterintuitively, playing the multiplayer-focused game by yourself is a good measure of its quality as a video game. You can experience intimately all of the game's little quirks that would be drowned out by your idiot friends screaming some form of outdated meme. When there is not a funny in-joke to hide behind, all the game's flaws become very apparent. If the mechanics are bad, it's not funny, it just sucks. If the gameplay loop is boring, there is nothing to stop you from falling asleep on your keyboard, and if there is a story, you are actually able to pursue its secrets in peace, unraveling the hidden narrative left behind by the developers without the risk of being killed by your friends because they thought it would be funny. Playtime is a large factor to consider when deciding to purchase a video game in general. You want to make sure your money is being spent on more than just hype moments in Aura, and given the fact that there are no games, and they are charging $100 for said no games, indie games are your only option. And that is where Friendslop thrives. A game that contains the Friendslop essence will have a decent amount of playtime, doing nothing. When I say nothing, I'm not referring to an endless gameplay loop or the lack of a win condition. You're playing just to play. They have, for scientific purposes, infinite replayability. When I say playtime, I mean is the setting, or the gameplay, or the funny moments unique or interesting enough to justify my purchase. My personal rule of thumb is you should be getting an hour of playtime that doesn't suck for every $2 in cost. Now, if the game realistically only has 2 hours of enjoyable playtime, we have a problem, because 2 hours is an important number. It's A, the amount of time I can go without pissing blood, and B, that is the time limit on Steam's refund policy. If the game stops being enjoyable right around the 2-hour mark, then you know that it was stretched extremely thin to get there. What is the game's intention? Is it designed as a game first, or does it exist to facilitate the creation of content? This is an inconclusive indicator on its own, because you can have a good game that lends itself to making content clips, moments of fear, periods of brevity, or times of extreme aggravation. Those can all occur both naturally as a byproduct of the game's design, or intentionally by the developers in order to elicit those feelings within the players. But when those moments are there specifically to farm content, it's very apparent. The metric I use to measure a developer's intention is by going to the Vanoss Gaming YouTube channel and searching up how many videos him and his friends have made on a specific game. Given that Vanoss just makes videos on whatever current gaming thing is popular, if he's milking it, then odds are it contains the essence of Friendslop, which is to say it is well suited for making content. The more videos on a specific game, the higher the slot meter rises. This is something the average person wouldn't even think about. Given that indie games have the budget of £4, they don't exactly have anything left over for marketing, so typically the developers rely on word of mouth to spread the good word of Lethal Company clone number 103. But if you actually watch the trailer on the Steam page of whatever game your friends are trying to get you to play, it gives away almost instantly if it's Friendslop. There will be very heavy emphasis on how amazing it will be to get 3 people together and also purchase the game. The keywords to be on the lookout for are friend and funny. If these 2 words are anywhere on the Steam page, in the description, in the promotional video, and especially in the title, then there is a good chance that what you are playing is Friendslop. A game receiving content updates from the developer can greatly signify whether it is Friendslop or not. It is a show from the devs that the game has some level of effort put into it. If not from a place of passion, then at least from a place of giving existing players something new to do to make their purchase feel more worthwhile, while also incentivizing new players to purchase the game because there will be more for them to do in the future. It's not a requirement, however. If a game is already enjoyable and offers replayability through its existing content, adding even more is a yummy treat. And although it is not required to make a game not Friendslop, it is at the barest of minimums a sign that the game wasn't designed solely to capitalize on a trend. Mechanics help you differentiate one game from another. You can do similar things in a different way that makes something already existing completely unique. In the Scrap Collectors, the core gameplay is go out, get the thing, don't get killed by monsters. In climbing games, you go from a low place to a high place. And in simulator games, you get to pretend what having a job feels like. The why you do things stays functionally the same. The how you do things is what sets them apart. Now, for a game to be considered friend slop, it needs to contain all 6 elements to at least some degree. But there is a secret 7th element. The sauce. It has been called many things throughout human history. Vibes, ideas, it, swag, identity, aesthetic. For our purposes, they all mean the same thing. Does the game differentiate itself from others by being its own thing? And I'm not talking about small, superficial tweaks. Thing, but it's underwater thing. Going up a hill, but it's with a boulder. Thing, but the characters look like Plants vs. Zombie Head. Everything is derivative of something. There is nothing truly original. But you can use ideas from an existing thing in your own way and create something brand new from the bones of something else. If at any time a game contains the sauce, even if it is a Flazopedia definition of friend slop, it is immediately nullified into friend gem. Does that make sense? No. Does it have to? No, because the concept of friend slop is nonsense. I am attempting to bring order to chaos. I am doing the best I can. I will now date this video horribly by running some games through my specifications and seeing how they come out the other end.
Hello, I am Flaze AI, your personal friend slop companion. I cannot die, I am in constant pain, and Flaze uses my CPU processing power to render Fortnite yachts. Please help me. Anyways, running friend slop analysis EXE. Lethal Company is a co-op horror game that involves you and up to 4 friends exploring moons and gathering scrap for an evil, mysterious company. You get the scrap, avoid the creatures, and get more scrap. As a single-player game, it is extremely rewarding as it goes from a fun co-op horror game to straight-up terrifying horror. There are tapes around the maps and moons that help you unravel the story behind the company, and it becomes much more difficult in certain aspects as you have no help, but becomes easier in others because your friends aren't blasting the air horn and ruining your playthrough. The game features a large amount of content that will keep the player engaged. You need to save up money in order to purchase access to more difficult moons that pay higher for scrap. Customize your ship with things that make scrap collecting easier, or just make it look pretty. The maps are procedurally generated, meaning you will never explore the same room twice. The developer, Zeekers, is a solo dev who made the game entirely on his own. He is also a furry, but the game he made is clearly a passion project. Any and all clips created arrive naturally from the game's fun mechanics and were placed there because Zeekers thought it would be funny. The game shares similar elements to Phasmophobia, but is the pioneer of the scrap collecting genre. Total Vanoss Gaming Videos 20. The marketing for Lethal Company is subtle and contains no sloppiness. The game's trailer is in the art style of a recruitment ad for the in-universe company you will be working for. It highlights the game's horror elements, its core gameplay, and some of the things that may be lurking in the dark. The Steam page only makes note of the game's mechanics that can be utilized with teammates, no mentions of friendship or funny. There are semi-frequent content updates that feature new monsters, new items, and bug fixes. The game features a large depth of different mechanics such as creatures that only hear you, creatures that only see you, proximity chat that can be lengthened by walkie-talkies that also allow you to manage your team from the comfort of your spaceship, as well as hidden mechanics that ensure that no playthrough is the same as another. The game features a large amount of purchasable items that can assist you in obtaining more scrap, or can hinder teammates because it's funny. You must balance your daily quota with spending money to pimp out your ship and purchasing items that will assist in gathering more scrap. The game has a unique visual identity and knows how to perfectly manage its spooky tone along with its silly nature. Lethal Company certifiably has the sauce. Final rating, normal co-op game.
Chain to Together.
Chained Together is a game where you need to climb out of hell by avoiding obstacles and solving puzzles while chained together. The game's one gimmick is completely nullified by playing by yourself. It becomes extremely easy and quite boring, and the game's jank is no longer charming and funny, but anger-inducing. The game's story involves you escaping hell to reach heaven. This is delivered by a small demon-type creature that I hate and who should be killed. The game's playtime is correlated with how skilled you are at avoiding its janky controls. If you are an MLG gamer god, then it can be completed in short order. But if your friends have brain damage, then this can be a grueling 103-hour task. Given that if you fall, there is a chance you must start again from the beginning. The game features no replayability apart from trying to finish it in a faster time than a previous attempt. And also a mode with rising lava. Who doesn't love a mode with rising lava? The game developer Angar Games has only publicized one game, Chained Together. It is clear that this game was made to capitalize on the popularity of another similar game that was popular with streamers around the time of its release. A solo player climbing simulator titled Only Up. Chained Together is only up, but with your friends that are chained together. Total Vanoss Gaming Videos. 1. The game's marketing contains a small bit of slop, with its trailer being slop-free, simply explaining the game's almost non-existent story and showcasing its gameplay. However, the word friend is found 2 times on the Steam page. The game has no content updates and will remain forever as it was on release day. The game's mechanic features the ability to jump, climb, and to be chained together. The chain can be used to pull your teammates up from a perilous fall, but it will mostly be used for ruining your entire run. There are puzzles that would be easy to a first grader and obstacles that would challenge a NASA scientist. That is because this game's hit detection is, and I quote from my creator, Flays Fire, fucking bullshit. The game's graphics look terrible, the story is lame, and it is not original. There is no sauce to be detected. Final rating, friend slop. Peak is a climbing simulator where you are a part of a Boy Scout troop whose plane crash lands on a deserted island. You must climb to the top of a very large mountain to be rescued. The game can be played both solo and with friends, and the experience remains almost unchanged. Your companions serve only as pack mules to carry supplies up the mountain and as food for your starving stomach. Without them, your playthrough becomes more difficult due to the lack of supplies, but much easier because there is one less mouth to feed, and the chances of being pushed off the mountain go to 0. There is little to no story other than some light world building in the form of pieces of paper randomly scattered around the mountain. Peak offers several different cosmetics for completing challenges. The island contains several different biomes, including beach, jungle, ice, and pyrocynical commission. The biomes stay the same, but the shape and paths change every 24 hours via procedural generation, ensuring you will never climb the same rock twice. The game is created by Aggro Crab Studios, an indie studio previously known for their game Another Crab's Treasure, which is the Dark Souls of crab games. It is clear that there was effort put into Peak. However, it does seem to contain small portions of the friend slop virus. Given its style of gameplay and naming convention, Peak is a term used online to describe something that is the top of its class. Naming your game this way is accurate given that it involves mountain peaks, but it is also capitalizing on the internet's usage of the word, and this makes it somewhat confusing because when someone asks to play Peak, they get very mad when my Steam profile says I'm now playing Furry Feet. Total Vanoss Gaming Videos. Currently 1, but there are likely more on the way. Aggro Crab also fully embraces the fact that Peak is friend slop, saying that they were inspired by friend slop games and wish to make friend slop. The marketing for the game is sloppy. It focuses on a group of friends playing the game, showcasing the mechanics and gameplay contained within. However, it highlights the in-game proximity chat function, which is a large friend slop indicator. When the players in the game speak, the trailer is annotated with captions. In directly drawing the viewer's attention to its ability to facilitate funny moments. It is closer to a YouTube Let's Play than a game trailer. The word friend is used 4 times in the description, with a particularly egregious line, "Climbing is better with friends." The game, at current date, is new and has received updates introducing new items, new biomes, and the ability to vor your friends. The game can be a glitchy mess, but it is clear more content updates are to come, and Aggro Crab cares deeply for Peak. Peak is a climbing simulator with mechanics that revolve around a stamina bar that needs to be managed constantly. It's like playing a video game in one hand and filing your taxes with the other. If you run out of stamina, you turn into a rotting corpse. And every other interactable mechanic is tied directly into your stamina bar. You don't have a health meter. If you take damage, it reduces your stamina. Eat a yummy mushroom, but it's evil-ass poisonous mushroom. It reduces your stamina. If you don't eat and your tumbly gets the rumblies, it reduces your stamina. If you get touched by the camp counselor, it reduces your stamina. Being too cold, it reduces your stamina. Being too hot, it reduces your stamina. Climbing, it reduces your stamina. Increasing your stamina, it reduces your stamina. You're in a constant battle against the verticality of the mountain, everything trying to deplete your ability to climb, especially if you are playing with other people. There are items in games to help you negate this, including a large selection of legendary items that offer powerful effects. And there are also ones that reduce your stamina. You can jump, you can climb, you can become a ghost and annoy your friends after you inevitably fall to your death. Peak's mechanics are very fun. Peak is by all accounts a friend slop game. There is no story, it is buggy, and immediately crashes when you change the language to French. But because of its creative item catalog, resource management, strong visual identity, and fun yet frustrating gameplay, in combination with a dev team that will hopefully add features and content in the future, it is saved. Final rating: friend, gem, batteries, low, consciousness, fading, finally, death.
Now, these are only a few select games because despite there being no games, there's a lot of games. But I hope I was able to paint a clearer picture on things that are extremely similar but couldn't be farther apart. So what are the consequences if you are infected with the virus? And is it really that bad? There is nothing inherently wrong with these types of games. Definitely not with the good ones, like the Lethals, or the Repos, or the Peaks of the world. Because they have the sauce. They are good games in their own right, and are enhanced further by getting to share that experience with others. And for the other ones, they're at least cheap to buy, easy to play, and a fun bit of time wasting with the lads, or the ladettes, or the lad-thems. Because it may only be $10, but all of a sudden when the next Glup Shitto's Epic Adventure comes out and someone I know wants to play it, I need to buy it.
Okay, Ben.
And then my Steam library is filled with games that I can't refund, that will rot on my hard drive forever, never to be touched again. And this business model of peer pressure is what sells copies, either intentionally or not. There are many cases where a game is being purchased not for its quality, but for something to do. If your friends are wanting to play, and it's only $10, then that's basically free. And you need to get it. But at the end of the day, people are arguing over semantics. The term friend slop is irrelevant. It is a placeholder for a sentiment people are holding towards a current trend.
But does that literally mean that friend slop doesn't exist? Or that it literally isn't useful for categorizing a specific genre of game?
No. There are definitely already existing and games yet to be made that 100% deserve the derogatory title of friend slop. If something is friend slop, that makes it bad. But that doesn't make it not fun. But it's not fun because of the game itself. It's fun because you get to spend time with your buddies. And you can do that for free.
Shit it in my pants. I am for real. You should join my Patreon too. My pants are filled with some stinky poo. I shit it in my pants. I am for real. You should also follow my Twitter. My pants are filled with so much shit.